Is it really that big of an achievement just to show up for 10
Yes,
seconds?
Yes,
it absolutely
serious
is.
right now.
Before we begin today's video, I need you all to know something, and that is that I'm losing my mind because I have sat down and I've recorded this video in full twice now. The first time my microphone wasn't recording. For some reason, the laptop decided to just record with the laptop microphone, which is really far away and sounds awful. And the second time, I was much prouder of the second iteration of this video, and my camera wasn't recording. Is it me? Am I the drama? So with that being said, I've decided this is going to be a much more chill version than what I had originally done. But basically what I want to talk to you about today is that there has been some drama between Ethan Klein and Trisha Paytas. And I want to sit down, I want to talk to you about it today. I'm gonna, as I said, make this more casual and more chatty because I am now tired because I've been sitting here for an hour and a half recording the same video over and over again. I feel like I'm in some kind of horrible loop from which I can't escape, and that loop involves thinking about Ethan Klein, a man that I despise. We'll get more into why I despise him in a bit, but I do fully believe that Trisha Paytas lives in Ethan Klein's mind just entirely rent-free, because after their falling out, he just keeps bringing her up. He just can't help himself. I don't know if it's because he gets more attention when he brings her up. I don't know if it's because he gets more views. I don't know if it's because he's bitter. Or he's just obsessed. But she is not saying anything about him, and now with this newest iteration of drama, it's just becoming more and more obvious. Now, if you don't know, they started off their whole history not liking each other. He said some things about her, she said some things about him, and they decided to make a podcast together because that's what you do with somebody you hate. But it was a huge success, people loved it, and they did end up becoming friends, even though he's the problem. In my mind, he's always the problem.
It's me.
And anytime there was a new episode of this, I would completely devour not only the podcast, but also pizza, because every time there was a new episode, I would order Domino's and I would sit down and watch it and eat an entire pizza by myself. So it's probably good for my health that they stopped the podcast, because it feels like cholesterol problems waiting to happen. And their falling out was kind of a big deal, and like I said, since then Ethan hasn't been able to keep his mouth shut about Trisha, at least from what I'm seeing. And there's been some news recently, which is that Trisha went on SNL. And this is important because it was something that Ethan said she would never do. Throughout the time of their podcast, he was constantly belittling her, always making fun of her, always telling her that her dreams are unachievable and she'd never be able to do them. One of those dreams being going on SNL, which he said was so unlikely to happen that if it ever did happen, he would cut off his arm. And so when it did happen and she went on SNL, obviously people found this old clip of him saying that and just had an absolute field day with it. It was in the news, everybody was talking about it, and of course, Ethan had to comment. And I have some things to say about his comments, because once again, he's just proving all the reasons why I don't like him. Because if I haven't said it enough, I don't like Ethan Klein. I will never like Ethan Klein. You cannot make me like Ethan Klein. In fact, there are only a handful of things in this world that I dislike more than Ethan Klein. Pearl, which ironically enough, he actually did interview her once, and it was one of the only times I was on his side. People that say niche instead of niche. It's niche. Get it right. People trying to steal my passwords. Scammers. And the dreaded man in the middle. Now, I cannot do anything about those first two things, unfortunately. I just have to deal with the existence of Pearl and people mispronouncing niche. But for the other three, there is a solution. And that solution is today's sponsor, NordVPN. And right now, my friends, NordVPN have a wonderful deal for you. But firstly, what is it? NordVPN is a virtual private network that helps you stay safe and secure online. I mentioned the man-in-the-middle earlier, and if you don't know, a man-in-the-middle attack is basically when you are trying to browse on Wi-Fi, usually public Wi-Fi, and some absolute degenerate freak will intercept this connection. They quietly insert themselves between you and your destination, which lets them spy on your data and even alter it. Which means that while you're browsing on this public Wi-Fi network, criminals can harvest your sensitive data as you input it online and enter it into unencrypted sites. But NordVPN puts a stop to that by telling them, no, don't do that, so that you can browse safely and securely without anybody spying on your data. And NordVPN can also protect you from phishing, from password attacks, from malware, from ransomware, from so many different threats online. And there are other VPN providers out there, and most of them do provide an online threat protection feature. But under the hood of this feature, it's just simple DNS filtering, and NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro goes way beyond that. This is an advanced security feature that helps to protect you online. It scans for malware, blocks malicious websites, scans for phishing and scams, and removes annoying ads for a smoother browsing experience. And it also stops web trackers to enhance your privacy online. And there are so many other fantastic uses for NordVPN. For one, the VPN works by changing your computer's virtual location so that you can be sitting in Alaska. I don't know why I've decided you're in Alaska. That's just where you are. Don't question it. Some of you might actually be in Alaska. Hi. You can be sitting in Alaska, but tell the internet that you're in Bangladesh. Is anybody going to question you? No, which means that if you are in the United States and for some strange reason beyond my comprehension, you want to access Ireland's national broadcasting service, you can do that with NordVPN. Or more realistically, if you want to access something on Netflix that's not available in your country, you just turn the VPN on to whichever country that content is available in, and you can watch whatever you want. And right now, my loves, you can go to nordvpn.com/Vangelina and use my code Vangelina to get an additional 4 months on your plan. You can try this absolutely risk-free as well, because NordVPN also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. So I would definitely recommend that you try it out for yourself. That link is in the description for you to check out as well. Thank you so much to NordVPN for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get on with the rest of it, including more of my dislike of Ethan Klein. So yes, Trisha Paytas did end up on SNL, and before we move on to Ethan Klein's comments about this, because yes, he did make comments about this, I thought we would take a quick look at some of Trisha on SNL so we can get an idea of how she did. Why not? I do really wish that we could have a full version of just Trisha singing that. I think that would be iconic. And it is very cool that she actually got to make a cameo as herself. I will say, I'm not a fan of SNL. I'm gonna be honest. I have not seen much of it, and I remember seeing a little bit of it for the first time years ago, and it was like Mario or something, and I just remember thinking like, oh, this is like one of those shows, like nobody actually finds this funny. Like nobody thinks SNL is funny. And then I found out ages later that I was wrong. People really like SNL. I'm sorry. I don't get it. Maybe it's just because I haven't watched enough of it, but any clips I've seen, like some of them are a little bit funny, but then other ones I'm like, oh, when am I supposed to laugh? I don't get it. Maybe I'm just devoid of humor. I'm sorry. One day I'll be on SNL and then they'll bring this back up and they'll be like, so you don't like SNL? And be like, no, I'm sorry. Please keep paying me to be here. And yes, I am going to say I'll be on SNL because Trisha said it. I mean, Trisha is very famous actually and has been in a lot of things. Like, girl has been on Modern Family. She's been in an Eminem music video. What else has she done? Like, so much stuff. She was on Big Brother. She was on something like My Strange Addiction. She's been everywhere. Like, you just cannot be rid of her. But as discussed, Ethan had previously shut this dream down. He had said that if she was to be on SNL, he would cut off his own arm. I keep going to say eat his own arm, which is not what he said. Why do I keep trying to say that? But after people talking about it for a bit, he did actually address it, and I want to see a little bit, not the full thing, just a little bit of what he had to say.
Here's the clip of me and Trisha talking
Whatever
about
it is.
Yeah, you're talking about if I'd cut my arm off if she was ever on SNL. Now, I got to apologize to Trisha because it seems like her big moment has become more about me saying I cut my arm off than about her achievement. And I'm not even saying that like, I don't think I'm even exaggerating. People magazine did a headline. And the headline is about Trisha Paytas makes SNL cameo 3 years after her podcast co-host said he cut his arm off if she ever made the show. Why can't we just give her flowers?
This is so catty. This is so catty. He can say whatever he wants about it. He can be like, no, I truly meant she should have her moment. But the way he is saying that, oh, I feel bad for Trisha because, you know, everybody's making it about me. He's such a mean girl. Oh, God, I can't stand him.
It's a good story.
It is a good story.
Yeah, obviously people are going to point it out because it is hilarious that you said that. And
Yes, it is.
True.
And it adds
But I
to
had-
her like success, and I mean it adds to like the her achievement, sort of.
Really? 'Cause
She gets
She
it.
overcame it. But
Yeah.
that said, I do
overcame
kinda-
what?
I
My
hadn't-
curse? What did I do?
Yeah.
Existed.
Wasn't like I was like actively like lobbying against her.
I think you make a decent point though about it sort of stealing the thunder a little bit. I hadn't thought about that. But
Yeah,
you're
it's
right.
all about me.
All the
Me, you know,
headlines
and
are about her relation to you instead of just celebrating her. So
I have a feeling that, you know, just give her flowers. And it's not just People Magazine, it's Pop Crave, the most reputable, hard-hitting news source.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That is the big one.
They actually do get a lot of engagement. unironically.
That's Popgrave.
Video from 2021 resurfaces
Hey, that's a good word. That's a key word out there.
on Trisha Paytas' Frenemies co-host Ethan Klein telling her he will cut his arm off if she's ever on SNL. She made her debut last night. Now, I have to say, first of all, God, there was so much media about this. Let's see.
It's all.
Yeah, because it's a funny story. He's like, oh, it's all about me. It's literally so funny that you were like, that's never going to happen. And then it happened. Of course, people are talking about it. Why are you acting dumb?
Here's a compilation of people. Okay, hold on. Let me just show the clip, all right?
You're not. You're. If you go on, if you
Let me see the context of this brought up here.
so fucking funny, it's so fake. I would die before I became a talk show host. Thank you.
I'll become a talk
Thank
show
you
host.
for coming to my TED Talks.
Fine.
You are.
We'll be Ryan and Kelly.
I guess
and
I kind of am, but on my own terms.
See, you can't say anything right.
I'm not like a daytime.
Got it.
What time is it?
1:12 p.m.
You know, that's a genre, though.
What time did Ellen go on?
She was at 3.
No, I'm
Because it
gonna-
just seems like a lot of work.
I'm
Not
most-
because I'm opposed. It just seems like a lot
okay,
of work.
lazy.
It's like
I'll take it. I'll be on it.
yeah. You're not.
That's
You're.
it.
You're. If you go on Saturday Night Live, I will. What's something really valuable I could put on the line?
Like what? What?
I'll cut my arm off.
Bye-bye arm.
I don't want your arm off. Jesus.
If you go on SNL, that's a threat. If you go on SNL, I'll cut my fucking arm off.
He dislikes her so much. He's always her number one hater, even when he was pretending to be her friend. It is sick.
Make good on the threat, my friend.
Jesus, so dark.
What about what's wrong?
Let's do this on the
I don't want
phone.
Kyle Mooney writing for me though.
You're not getting shit because now he's a superstar with that sketch. Everybody's shouting out his name. I love Kyle Mooney. He's awesome. And Jewish brothers, we dogs.
So I would say, just to defend myself a little bit, I know it wasn't very specific, but I think the implication, obviously, and again, not to take anything from her, and you can have my arm, is that she would be a guest host, not do like a 10-second cameo.
Semantics.
No, that is not
Always changing the
semantics.
goalposts.
Doing a guest host versus doing
She
like a.
said she would be on it.
You're right.
It's
You're
Those
right.
were the
she
words.
only said on it,
Yeah,
which she
I'm not-
is on it. So
No, you're right. So in that case, she definitely does get my arm. But did nobody back me up? Like clearly, it's about a guest star.
No,
it was
it's not.
That may have been clear in your head, but that's not what.
Is it really that big of an achievement just to show up for 10
Yes.
seconds?
Yeah.
See? There he is. True colors came out. He was trying so hard. Oh, just give her flowers. Why are we making it all about me? And then, without even thinking, is it even really that big of an achievement to just be on like a 10-second cameo on SNL? Like, is that really that big of a deal? Like, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal to me. She didn't even host it. He's such a petty little man.
It absolutely is.
Right now.
No, I'm not saying she doesn't get it. I'm just saying.
How many other creators have done that, if any?
Done a 10-second cameo on.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Even if it was just.
Whoa. They had to cut something out. They had to cut something out. Let's see what happens when he comes back from this cut.
That's what's about to happen is very sweet, you guys. Actually.
Now that it's been explained.
Excuse me. I mean, yeah, she did a great job on her line. And I'll say, I wish I could show it. The crowd went crazy for her when she showed up, which was impressive. The amount of Trisha
it was
fans were just happened to be in the SNLs.
And that she was on it as herself, not as like another character. I
right.
thought that was really cool.
She showed up as what? Like the character in the sketch was having someone guest on their podcast.
Dream guest on my podcast? Friend of the pod.
And she was showing up as that friend. So, yeah, she did good. She crushed it.
Don't you love how they had to cut? And then all of a sudden he comes back completely saying something different. Because a second ago it was, why is it such a big deal? Like, it doesn't seem like a big deal to me that she was just on it for just like a 10-second cameo. And now it's, oh, she did such a good job. Oh, she's so great. I'm not suggesting that they told him, you need to cool it down because you look like an absolute dickhead. You need to say something nice about Trisha. But somebody else might be saying that, I don't know. But all of this is to say that I find him just the pettiest, nastiest little piss baby to have ever walked the earth. Like, he is just such a hater of Trisha. Like, he just can't cope. Even when he's pretending to be nice, he's so catty about it. Like, he will try and claim, I was just saying, like, let's, put the attention onto Trisha, not me, but he was being catty about it. You could hear it in his tone. You could hear it in his choice of words. You could hear it in the, is it even that big of a deal to just be on a 10-second cameo? You can hear it. You cannot fool me, Ethan Klein, with your bullshit. And did I mention that I don't like Ethan Klein? Maybe I'm being too harsh. Do you think I'm being too harsh? Do tell me if you think I'm being too harsh. I don't think I'm being too harsh. I don't think I'm the drama, but maybe I'm wrong. And also do let me know if you like SNL, because I really can't gauge whether this is something that people actually enjoy or not. Maybe I need to watch more of it just to like get an idea of it. I just feel like maybe that type of humor is not my kind of humor. But then there's people who don't think I have a sense of humor at all, but I do. You just wouldn't get it. I don't know, I'm joking. I'm completely joking. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. You can follow me on social media. I'm VangelinaSkov everywhere. And most importantly, please, this Christmas period, give me the gift of subscribing to this channel. Christmas is the time of giving, so you can give me a sub and notifications turned on, and I can give you videos for free. There is a lot of stuff for you to check out in the description as well, including, I guess, if I remember to do it, my Spotify Wrapped for 2024. I don't listen to that much music, by the way, on like Spotify, because I usually listen on vinyl if I'm listening, because I want to actively listen. And I can't listen to music when I'm like working, because I'm watching YouTube videos or I'm editing and stuff like that. So I don't get a lot of time to listen to music. But that meant that I had like only 12,000 hours in total. 12,000 minutes, Jesus, which is not a lot. But somehow my top artist was Taylor Swift, but my top song was by Slipknot. And yeah, my rap this year was quite emo. I don't know what happened there. Also, don't forget to check out in the description, there is the link to nordvpn.com/Vangelina, and you can also use code Vangelina, and that will get you an additional 4 months on your plan. Thank you so much to NordVPN for sponsoring today's video, and thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Please, everything be recording.